Welcome to the BBC School News Report from our school, St Thomas More. I'm Sammy.
And I'm Betham. Today's top highlights are a Christian singer Jimmy Mitchell visits St Thomas More,
February half-term trip to Iceland,
Rhino death rates increasing, and finally the weather.
On to our first story. Jimmy Mitchell's workshop comes to our school. Over to Mia.
Thank you, Samir, and today we're here with Mrs. Burgess, our chapter leader, Jimmy Mitchell himself, and Daisy, who has taken part in Jimmy Mitchell's workshop. So, Jimmy, what are you all about?
Yeah, so it's a real joy. I've been going up and down the UK, different areas, parishes and schools to really share different stories and songs from my own life, songs that I've written that really highlight the different truths of what it means to be human, what it means to be Catholic, and to really embrace the love of God in our faith.
And what made him relevant to our students at St Thomas More?
Well, we love welcoming visitors, so we were delighted to have the opportunity to welcome Jimmy, and it's an opportunity for all our students to think about their own spirituality and particularly to encourage them.
And Daisy, what have you learnt from Jimmy Mitchell's workshop?
I've learned the importance of music and the effect it can have. It can really focus you on specific things, and also that yes, you may be imperfect, you might have certain qualities, but in God's eyes you are perfect. And it's also just good to explore your faith, even if you're not religious, just curious about it, as it really explains it really well.
So would you recommend this to other teenagers?
I would, especially if you're confused about your faith or you're going for information and all of that, because it really gives you an insight on who God is and what He does.
Thank you. And thank you to all three of you for joining us today, and back over to you guys in the studio.
Thank you for that insightful interview, Mia.
Now to Frankie, who interviews Mr. Miller to see what it was like in Iceland.
Thank you, Bethan. And with me now is Mr. Millard, who organised the trip, and Sean, who went on the trip. Mr. Millard, what were the reasons for organising this trip?
My main reason for organising the trip was to give pupils the opportunity to experience Iceland, a country with some amazing physical landforms, Gullfoss waterfall, for example. To be able to go out there and say that they've seen those things, I think, is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
And what was your highlight of the trip?
Without a doubt, my highlight was getting to see the Northern Lights, something that some people never get the opportunity to see. We needed the right conditions. We were lucky enough to have those right conditions, and our guide managed to find a spot where we could witness the Northern Lights. He also told us that we witnessed a very rare formation of them as well, so very pleased to have been able to see them.
And can you tell me why this is a good learning experience?
Lots of the landforms that we saw and experienced are linked to the GCSE and A-level specifications, so the waterfalls that we saw, the volcanic activity that we experienced, the geothermal plant that we visited, all have links to those, so hopefully the pupils will have gained some extra knowledge from going to see these things firsthand.
Thank you. And Sean, what was your highlight?
My highlight of the trip was swimming in the Blue Lagoon.
And how did you learn from this experience?
I learned that the Blue Lagoon isn't actually heated through electricity, but heated through the volcanic activity around the area.
Thank you to both of you. Back to the studio.
Junior doctors all over the UK have been rallying outside in the typical British weather, striking due to ministers saying that they impose on the current contract set on the junior doctors.
The walkout began on the 9th of March, 8 o'clock GMT. Junior doctors' leaders are objecting to the prospect of a new contract in England.
The government described the current contract as outdated and unfair, pointing out that the contract was made in the 1990s. The ministers thought of changing the contract in 2012, but these talks finished in 2014.
They restarted at the end of last year as a consolation service, ACAS, but a deal could not be reached. So Minister announced in February they would be imposing the contract from this summer. And over to Michael for the story about Amazon.
Where Amazon have just announced that they will be using new tactics to prevent theft at warehouses. Amazon have started using the video clips in some of these warehouses showing how the employees have been accused of stealing. The reporter referred to Amazon's US-based warehouse, and the BBC understand that these tactics has not yet been developed here in the UK. So, Michael, what are the advantages of the cameras in Manchester?
Some of the advantages are that certain employees that decide to take some of the products for themselves will be caught, and we will have evidence to prosecute them if the worst does come to the worst.
Thank you, Michael. Back to BBC.
The number of southern whites and black rhinos in Africa being poached has increased for the 6th year in a row.
The International Union for the Conservation of Nature says that 1,300 rhinos were killed, bringing up to 6,000 rhinos being killed since 2008.
It's a mixed picture. South Africa, which has 79% of African rhinos, has seen poaching fall slightly.
Their success is down to the better law enforcement taking place. They say that about 30,000 rhinos are still in Africa today.
However, some other countries have seen a big increase in poaching. Overall, the white rhino population is stable, while the black has gone up.
Our next story is about a dramatic dog rescue in the US.
In Utah, America, a sheriff's office sent out an airboat to rescue a helpless dog.
The poor dog had been rescued on the 29th of February where it had been trapped on ice.
Frightened and freezing cold, the dog repeatedly tried to run away from the people who were trying to save it.
It managed to get away on several occasions until it had fallen into the ice-cold water where a rescue boat then got to it quickly and saved it from near death.
The sheriff's office said that the dog had fallen into the water, but only for a short amount of time, and was now recovering well. Now on to entertainment with Clive, with a review for the band Taken.
And it was fabulous.
Thank you, Samira and Bethan. Yes, you're absolutely right. Taken blew us away with an amazing performance, singing songs such as Justin Bieber, Love Yourself, and One Direction History. But that's not the main reason they were there. They were there to talk about cyberbullying and how to stay safe on the internet. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you for that entertainment news. Now on to sports.
Thank you, presenters. So today we'll be interviewing student Clive. So Clive, what are your thoughts on the recent upcoming events against Bidden Muslim?
I'm really looking forward to the game. Hopefully we can go over and win. Also, our Year 9s under 14s beat Hearts 3-0. Hopefully we can play as good as them.
Yeah, that's good. So have you got any more things you need to tell us?
Our Year 9 team will also be playing in the Nations semi-final.
Oh, that's nice news. So I've heard you got some pretty nice skills, so let's see what he can do. So yeah.
Nice skills, Clive. Now over to Frankie with the weather.
Here in Bedford, as the day starts, there will be some light showers. As the day progresses, there will be some sunny spells brightening up our day.
That's it from us from St Thomas More on the BBC School Report. I'm Samir.
And I'm Bethan.